The full game for MLB The Show 22 officially launches tonight at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. So as you can see, we are in custom practice mode. Figured now is a better time than any to hop in, talk about what I think are the best settings that you should be using at the start of the game. If you watch anyone on Twitch, these are the settings that majority of them are going to be using. Obviously, you can do whatever you're most comfortable with, but I do think that if you give some of these changes a little bit of a try, you'll be much better at the game. But if you have any recommendations, let me know in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's hop right into it. We are going to start out on the pitching side of things. With pitching interface, you got 3 different options that I recommend. Pinpoint's going to give you the most control of your pitches. It's also the hardest to command. Meter, which is probably going to be the easiest, or pure analog, which gives you a little bit more user input. So up until like August of last year, I always used pure analog. What I've used for a couple years now, so I was really used to it. But pinpoint was a new mechanic they introduced into the game last year, and it was insanely overpowered. It's not as overpowered this year, but it's still pretty good. And then for pitching view, this is just going to be whatever you're most comfortable with. I always go strike zone because strike zone is also how I bat. So I have a look of what it's going to look like when I'm batting. I like to think that somehow that gives me an edge, but it probably doesn't. But what it does is the strike zone's so close, it lets me see if I want to put my pitch just a tad off the plate, not much. I have a much easier kind of visual of it than say if I was further away. So that's what we're going to be doing with that. Pitch delay, normal, everything else. Pitch tail, that's really up to you. I always just leave it as fade. And this is what my pitching view looks like. You're able to see the ball a lot easier, so if I want just slightly off the plate, I'm able to get a better visual of it. And this is pinpoint. Pinpoint's always going to give you a first look of how to do it. As you can see in the little circle, it's telling you exactly what to do. And you basically got to get the ball marker there using your right analog stick before the balls kind of close together. You know, like when I go here, they're like circles kind of going into another circle is the best way to explain it. Basically, you just got to time everything up. And if you do, the control is a lot better than it is for any other pitching interface. But like I said, this is also far and away the hardest. I was god awful at it when I first started. I'm still not the best at it. I'm still learning it. But when I get it right, it's 100%. I'm able to control my pitches, get it exactly where I want it to be. So I feel like this is just one that you really need to hop into custom practice mode or go into event games, CPU games, something along those lines just to get more reps with it. It'll tell you in the feedback if you're going too fast, if you're going too slow. Right there, I had a perfect release, 92% accuracy. So it still wasn't the best pitch. If you got green all the way through, that means, oh, I did it right there. So that was a pretty good one, 98% accurate. It wasn't perfect, but still it got the job done. So I recommend at least trying this. Otherwise, I mentioned that I used pure analog stick for a couple years before I made the switch to pinpoint. This one, you're gonna press X, move to where I want, and basically when the ball comes down and hits that yellow line, you have to flick the right analog stick up towards the ball. So we put down, and once it gets there, I'm not used to it because I haven't pitched like this in a while. But essentially, you're just gonna flick the left analog stick down and then flick it up towards that red circle, and that's how you're gonna get the best control. But like I said, it's kind of hard to get it perfect. I do like pinpoint a little bit more, and even if I do a decent job, it's not the best control. You have a little bit less user input on this than you do with pinpoint, so I do recommend at least trying pinpoint for the time being. Then you can make the switch to either meter or analog. Moving on, we got fielding, which is actually a new aspect to custom practice. You can never practice your fielding before, but for throwing interface, always do button accuracy. Essentially, when you press the button, sort of circle to throw at the first base, it's gonna give you a meter. All you gotta do is get it into the green, and it's gonna be a perfect throw every single time. Anything less, though, it's gonna be in the dirt, and more than likely, it's gonna be in air. But I think 99% of the time, I'm able to get it there with no problems. The reason I do this over pure analog, buttons, anything else is because you want to take away as much computer input as possible. You want to have full control. With button accuracy, you do. If you get it into the green, I can say I've never made an error before throwing when I get it into the green. So I like having a little bit of control there. Throwing meter obviously is going to be on. Throw canceling, always make sure is on, because you got some cheesy bastards in this community that'll try to take advantage of you. And basically all you do is if you're throwing and you want to cancel the throw, press a different base. So if, for example, I'm throwing to first and the guy from second's going to third, I'll press square. It'll cancel the throw. Then I can turn around, throw it to third, try to get him out. If you have throw canceling off, what's going to happen is people are just going to keep running and take advantage of you, and it's really cheesy. Catch ball indicator is just what your preference is. I like having the drifting ball on. I think the blue line's just too much. You'll see when they hit it here, if I want to go to second base, I just press triangle, get it right in the middle. It's going to be a perfect throw to second base. So we're going to have the ball hit the shortstop with a guy on second. Not what I wanted. I wanted him to hit a ground ball, not a fly ball. Okay, now we should have practice the way I want. So it's going to go over to shortstop, ground ball. We'll make a nice throw to second base. And I forgot to put somebody on first. Damn it, bro. Why am I such a screw up? Okay, we've got it this time. Third time's charm. It's going to be a base hit. Never mind. Can we get it this time? Hey, there we go. Now we can turn a nice, easy double play. This is the way to work on your infield. It's a way to work on the throwing mechanic. So ground ball here, I'm going to cancel the throw to second and go to first. So, nope, I want to cancel. We made a throw to first. I accidentally made a bad throw. We're going to try that again. Going to second. Nope, I canceled the throw, and instead, we went to first base. Always have throw cancellation on. Just practice it a little bit so you don't mess it up like I did that first time, and then you can kind of readjust and make throws as easy. But once you get the throw meter down, super easy, you won't make a lot of errors. Hitting is always the big one. Hitting view, I always go with strike zone. I just like to have the visual of seeing a close-up of the plate. Helps me recognize if it's a ball, a strike, what the pitch is, and I feel like overall I play better with it. Hitting interface, always have zone. Don't go directional timing, anything like that. Zone's basically going to be that big circle you see in the middle of the plate, and you're going to use your left analog stick to move that towards the ball. And that's essentially, they say it's not, but it really is the barrel of the bat. Think of it that way. Input type's going to be buttons. You have X for normal swing, square for power, circle for contact, triangle for bunt. You only need to use X to swing unless you are bunting. Anything else but X is just wrong. You will never notice a difference. PCI anchor is new. We'll get into that in a second. Turn that on. And then PCI indicator, plate coverage indicator, have on. And then you can make this however you want. I like to do my PCI center to be circles, PCI outer to be basic, yellow, 100% transparency, but you can really customize how your PCI looks so it helps you the best. This is what my PCI looks like. And like I said, you're going to use your left analog stick to move to where the ball is, and that's essentially treated like the barrel of your bat. And you see I have a real good close-up of the plate, so it just helps me tell if it's a ball, a strike, helps me a little bit more recognize what pitch it is. But hitting is all about what you're most comfortable with, so give a few things a different try, hop into practice, figure out what things you like, what things you don't like, and then you can go from there. PCI indicator is also another new feature that I think is a really good addition. You're going to press L3, which is just putting in your left analog stick, and it's going to bring these dots. And essentially, you move up, and that is where your PCI is going to sit. So I'd recommend putting it somewhere you struggle with. I like having my PCI indicator down. Just helps me relax a little bit, and then I can just flick my thumb up to where the pitch is. So a couple of different things. Hopefully this helped. We went over pitching. Well, there you have it, boys. We went over fielding, pitching, and hitting. This is the general consensus for what a majority of MLB The Show players use. So if you're new to the game, struggling a little bit, and you want to try a different route, try a couple of these tips in this video. Let me know in the comments section if it helped you out, or let me know if you have any other recommendations for what you are using that has helped you. Anyways, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we're out. Peace.